Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Linda White-Ryan, and I'm here with you today to talk about how to apply for social work licensing. When you are ready, when you're graduating, it's really important that you understand how to go about applying to take your license. So let's get started. So what's the purpose of licensing? So we know that it is to ensure that you have what we call basic competency to practice your profession, your given profession of social work. And what does it do? Well, it protects the clients, families, communities, and organizations that you will work with in your practice. It protects the clients because you have achieved, through becoming licensed, basic level of competency. And also it addresses issues of malpractice and misconduct. Having a license and a licensing board addresses all of that. And what is really important when you think about being a licensed profession, years ago, social work was actually CSWs in New York were certified social workers. If we think about all the other healthcare professions, every other healthcare profession is licensed. Nurses, doctors, as well as occupational therapists, physical therapists. So it was really important for us to have a place at the table as becoming licensed professional social workers. So it is a good thing. It contributes to being considered an authentic profession. The other thing that contributes to being considered an authentic profession is having your own original body of research, which we have in the field of social work, and also having a code of ethics. And I am proud to say that social work has one of the most, if not the most, comprehensive code of ethics. So we are an authentic profession. The governing bodies, the accrediting and governing bodies, are the Social Work Regulatory Boards, Association of Social Work Boards, ASWB, and the Council on Social Work Education. So, the examination, it's important to remember that when you finish your MSW and you are then able to take the licensing exam, the LMSW licensing exam, actually called different things in different states, but for right now we'll say the LMSW. It's important to remember that each state has its own specific guidelines. But it's also important to remember that there's one exam and it is across the United States. So you are answering, I once heard from my colleague, Bené Lindenauer, that the way she put it when she talked with students was that think of someone taking an exam in Idaho or Kansas. They are sitting for the exact same exam that you will be sitting from if you come from New York, Connecticut, New Jersey. So it is across the United States. There are about 22 versions of the exam, and you never know which one you will get. But more about that later on. So what are the requirements to be able to actually sit for the exam? Well, you need to be of good moral character, you need to be 21 years of age, and you need to meet the education requirements, which means that you have graduated from an accredited MSW program. And you need to meet all of the other requirements that are given by the particular state that you would like to practice in New York State. And again, I want to emphasize this is for New York State only. Some other states may have that requirement, but in New York State, you need to complete coursework or training in the identification and reporting of child abuse. And it has to be offered by a New York State provider. Here at Fordham, we do provide the opportunity for students to take that course both at the Westchester campus and at the Lincoln Center campus, and NSAW also gives it online. The important piece to remember about that is that you will get a certificate at the end of the course. You need to print that out so that you will have that when you apply for licensing. You only need to take that course one time. The fee is $294 at this particular moment. In January of 2018, it could go up. It does change. But right now, to apply to be able to get approval to take the licensing exam with the Office of the Professions in New York State is $294. You also have the ability to apply for a limited permit, which means in New York State, each state has their own requirement. And in New York State, you can get what's called a limited permit, which is a permit to practice for 1 year in the state if you're working for an agency that allows you to work with a limited permit. And that is a different application, and that is it is $70. So, as I said a few moments ago, and I really want to reemphasize, each state has different requirements. Same test, but different requirements. So that it's always important in whatever state that you want to practice in, and you will be taking the exam in, for you to contact the Social Work Regulatory Board, the Office of the Professions in the licensing, in the state that you want to sit for the exam in, and to provide all of the supporting documentation. It's really important to note that regulations change, things change, so you really need to go to their websites or call up to make sure you get the most up-to-date information about requirements. After you get approval from the state that you are going to take the exam in, that the Office of the Professions sends you a letter and says, yes, you are now approved to take the exam, you will contact the Association of Social Work Boards, ASWB, and that is where you will actually schedule your exam. But first, you need to have approval from the state. So it's a few-step process. So how do you apply in New York State? In New York State, to register for the exam, the LMSW exam, you can go to New York State LMSW licensing requirements. It will explain everything to you, what the process is. And then you need to complete the mandated reporter course. You can take it online, as I said, a 2-hour web-based online training can be completed at any time. So you can do it in your pajamas, you can do it at night if you don't have time to come to one of the scheduled in-person. It's your choice, whatever works for you. You have 30 days to complete the course once you sign on and start the process. And you want to, at the end of each section, if you don't do it all at once, you can click and they will save your work. And you can complete it at your own pace. As I said a few moments ago, you only need to do this one time. Then what you do is you have to complete Form 1, application for licensure and first registration. It's not renewal, this is Form 1 for your first registration. Once you have graduated in New York State, so you can complete that before graduation if you want, it doesn't get you through the door earlier, but you can start getting everything together. Once you have actually had a conferred diploma and you have graduated. So what that means for you here at Fordham is this. If in fact you are what we call a May graduate, meaning you have completed all of your coursework by May, by graduation, and your field work, so you've been 21 hours a day in field work, then you are considered a May graduate. If you have courses that you're taking in the summer, or you were 14 hours a week in your field placement, then you're considered an August graduate, and your degree is conferred on or about August 9th. So therefore, you may walk in graduation in May if you're considered an August graduate, but you will not be able to actually apply to take the exam. In New York State, you must have completed all of the requirements and have a conferred diploma in order to apply. So you complete Form 2, and then you're going to send it to the university registrar. And there is the address. The university registrar will then verify that you have in fact completed all the graduation requirements, and they will give your graduation date, and they will send it on directly to Albany for you, to the Office of the Professions. An official transcript is not needed. They just send that you have completed all requirements. There is no fee for this. The university does that. Once the Office of the Professions in New York State has this, along with your fee, without the money, it doesn't work. So once you've paid your fee, and Fordham, and I have to say, it has been my experience, Fordham is really good about getting this information. Once you send in Form 2, they get it to the Office of the Professions fairly quickly. And once everything gets there to the Office of the Professions, then they will send you a letter, a verification letter saying you've met all the requirements, you may now schedule the exam. So, before you actually contact ASWB to schedule your LMSW examination date, review all of the instructions in the ASWB information that is online. There's a candidate handbook that you can get, and you can go through that. The exam that you want to take is the master's exam. There's a few different exams, but what you as an MSW graduate want to take is that for the master's exam. You can do everything and register online. The ASWB has a registration page, but you can also call them up if you need guidance or want to talk to them about anything. They are available to talk to you. So if you're in New York State, that's how you go about it. So after you receive approval, and this is with any state, after you receive approval, you're going to then register to take the master's exam. And you're going to contact ASWB, and there is their website, and there is their email information. And candidate registration, you can do it online. Those are the phone numbers. If you're hearing impaired, you can, and have TTY, you can call that number. You're going to schedule the exam. If you require testing accommodations, you can do that online or you can call, and they will be provided for you. There are many, many testing locations. Very often, students will say, well, how many times do they give the exam? Do they give it in lots of places? And I can assure you the exam is given very, very frequently in many locations, most which will be fairly close to where you live. So you will be able to look at all of the locations online, and then you will have to pay the examination fee. Again, it's an expensive proposition to become licensed. So the 3 states that we talk about here in this presentation, because most of our students are either from New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, but I know we have students from Rhode Island and places that are far away. But this is the information for Connecticut, for the LMSW exam. And in Connecticut, you need to have graduated, the same as in New York, and have a conferred degree, MSW degree. In New Jersey, that is their website, but you can sit for the exam in your final semester of school. If you have met all core requirements, they will allow you to sit for the exam. However, you don't get the license until you get the diploma. So many students do decide to do that. It's really your choice. I have also found that students talk about the final semester of school as really being that you have a lot on your plates. So that's something that you want to think about if you want to wait till after graduation or if you want to take it in that semester. And again, in New York, that is the website, and you need to have graduated. Now, for any of you who would like this PowerPoint, at the end of my presentation, I am going to give you contact information. Please don't hesitate to email me, and I will send you this presentation so that you have all of the information. I would also like to tell you that there is a very similar presentation online. No one's talking to you, but all of the information is on the GSS website, MSW website, under licensing. So should you want to go through it, or you forgot something I talked about today, you can look online or you can contact me directly, and I'll tell you how to do that at the end of my presentation. So, ASWB, that is their website. I said that earlier. In New York State, the examination fee is $260. A lot of money after you paid the $294. However, that's the deal. So you need to then pay it. When you register for, and I'll talk about study guides as we go along in a few minutes, but when you register to take the exam, you may, if you choose, you can't do it before you register to take the exam, you can register to take the online computerized exam that is that's administered by ASWB. So it's an exam that is very similar to the exam that you will actually be sitting for. Students have told me they find it very, very helpful. You will have access, once you register for it, you will have access for only 30 days. So what I say to students is, if you are going to register for the exam 60 days out, wait until a month before the exam, you're actually taking it, and then you can go back into ASWB either online or call them, pay the extra $85 to take the exam, if you choose. That's one of the resources available, and students have said that they consider it to be extremely helpful because it's a 4-hour time test, which is the length of the exam, and you get used to the computerized version, how you go about it, timing of the exam. It also provides you with a detailed rationale as to why you got an answer right or wrong. And that can be very, very helpful for students. They also have a study guide, ASWB, which is $30. And it has some good information on test-taking strategies. And there is a mini practice test. It's not the full 4-hour, but a mini practice test that gives you some sample of questions. But there are, in that $30 guide, there's no information on content of the exam at all. It's mostly strategies and a few questions. Okay, so what do we have available here for all of you to prepare for this exam? What I'm telling you here today is how you are going to apply for the exam. But you want to know, I'm sure, well, how am I going to get ready to take this? Because what I say to students, and I've been preparing students to helping to prepare students for the exam for a while now, and what I say to students is, even if you were the best student that ever came to the MSW program here at Fordham, and I'm sure many of you are, this is still an exam that you need to prepare for. It's really important to find ways to review and get ready to take the exam. So what do we have? Well, certainly the coursework that you have taken here at Fordham, your academic coursework, has really helped to prepare you to utilize the critical thinking that and how to apply the theoretical knowledge base you've developed and how to apply it in the case scenarios online. Your integrative seminar has done a wonderful job as well to help prepare you. I know your integrative seminar professors go over practice questions, but all the information that you have learned in integrative seminar will really be helpful towards taking the exam and being successful. And your field work, you know, that's where you learn to apply. You developed your skill base. And this exam is really about skill as much as knowledge. So, There is also another resource that's being developed right now. This is how to apply, and this will be sent to all of the integrative seminar professors. They will show it to you, their students. Also, we're in the process now of developing an online content review session as well as test-taking strategies. There will be 5 modules, 1 on test-taking strategies, and then 4 on the different content areas that are included in the exam. And that will be ready by the end of April, or if not a little bit sooner. It will be available to every student at Fordham University, whether you're part of our Malloy program, whether you're a student at the Westchester campus, the Lincoln Center campus, or our online campus. All students will have access online. So again, you will be able to look at it in your pajamas. You can do one module one day, another one another day. You will be able to view this whenever. I will also be conducting 2-hour review sessions on strategies, and in person and on WebEx, again, for students who aren't able to attend the in-person. And I will do that at Westchester and Lincoln Center around June and July. We don't have the dates yet, but for those of you who can't attend in person, it will be a WebEx, and it will be more a question and answer session for all of you. However, I also want to stress that you don't have to wait for that to reach out to me with questions or concerns, or just information that you would like. And we also have practice tests at this point in time available on laptops. So it's what we call our laptop loan program. You give a $40 refundable deposit, so it's free, but we ask for a deposit. And you also have I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. We also have computers available on site at the campuses. So the laptop resources. So you give this deposit, and you can take the laptop home for, I think it's about a week. Each campus has it a little bit different. And also there are 2 computers that are in the at the Manhattan campus in room 712 next to the professor's desk. And we ask you to limit the time you take the practice exams there in the Manhattan campus to 2 hours. The passcodes are on the computer so that you will be able to get in and access. And also in room 704, from Monday to Friday, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., there is an exam prep cubicle to the far right. And students and alumni have priority over interns utilizing the space. So again, please limit it to 2 hours, which is understandable, and the passcodes are there. If you want the laptop at the Manhattan campus, at the Lincoln Center campus, please contact Sally Ann Tringali, and that's her email, tringali@fordham.edu. And also that is her phone number. At the Malloy campus, where we have our hybrid program, Jennifer McKinnon, who is the director there, is in charge of assigning that, and that is her contact information. At the Westchester campus, in room 217 and 220 are our computer labs, and you are able to take, again, the practice exams. The passcodes are there. Please limit, again, to 2 hours during peak times. If there's no one around, sometimes students come in on Sundays to the Westchester campus, then you can stay longer than 2 hours. The passcodes, again, are on the computers. If you want the laptop to take home, please contact the assistant to the deans, Laura Sutter. She's at Westchester. That's her contact information, and she will arrange. If sometimes there's a little backup, we have 2 available laptop computers. There may be a little bit of a wait, so she keeps the list, and she will then issue the laptop to you. So those are some of the resources. I just would like to talk briefly about the structure of the exam. The exam is 4 hours in length, okay? You're allowed to leave the room, and please do. If you need to use the restroom, you can leave the room. However, the clock continues to tick. So you just want to be aware, and that's why practice exams can be so very, very helpful, because you learn the timing of how the exam how you want to keep moving through the exam. But you only have 4 hours, and it is enough. Rarely do students ever tell me that they felt it wasn't enough. There are 170 questions, but only 150 are scored. I want to stress to all of you, please answer all of the questions, because you never know, even if you're not sure of the answer. The remaining 20 questions are really test questions that they are putting into the bank of the exams to see if they are good questions that they want to use for future exams. The good news and the bad news is that at the end of the exam, when you go back through and make sure you've answered every question, because you will have the ability to highlight, to just a little check, 2 questions you weren't sure about, and I talk much more about that in the module on test-taking strategies. You can go back and check, and then when you're ready, at the bottom of the page, it'll say, it's sort of like Jeopardy, is this your final answer? You're ready to submit, you push that button, and then for about the longest 45 seconds of your life, you wait. And then what will pop up is, I'm sure for all of you watching today, congratulations, you have just successfully passed the LMSW licensing exam. If for any reason, and I don't think this will happen, I'm not expecting it, but if for any reason you have not passed, it will say that. And what I would like you to know is you then, and you can take it again as many times as you need to, however, you need to wait 90 days to take the exam again if you have not passed. The reason for that is to give you more preparation time and to sort of integrate the information again before you sit for the exam. So you will be given not a percentage. You will see the top part will say you have passed or not. But what they will do is give you the number that you got correctly. Correct. They will not give you an actual percentage. That's not the way the tests are scored. So, about the content. As I said earlier, there are 4 content areas, and here they are. Human development and behavior in the environment, 28%. Assessment, diagnosis, and treatment planning, 24%. Direct and indirect practice, 21%. And professional relationships, values, and ethics, 27%. So I just would like to underscore that although there are 4 content areas, the test is administered it's only multiple choice. You will never be asked anything except multiple choice questions, and it will never say all of the above, none of the above. It's not like that. And in the content review, I will stress the strategies of how you approach the questions. But what I would like to say here today is the questions are in short case vignettes, longer case vignettes, and direct recall. Not as many direct recall questions. But in the vignettes, what you will find is, although we break up for studying purposes the 4 areas of content, each question could cover different areas. There could be something in there about ethics, assessment, diagnosis, human development, lifespan development. It could be about an adolescent or an older adult. So just to know that they are looking to see that you understand all of the above. So we'll talk more about that when we do content review, but I just wanted you to have that information. So, some of the study resources for those of you who would like to start studying now. You don't have to, you could wait till you graduate. But here are some of the resources that students have reported are quite helpful. And that is Social Work Examination Services. That is the email. You click on Home Study Program. Again, it's the master's level. You want to remember, it's not the clinical. It's the master's level study guide. Presently, it costs $195, again, more money, and it really contains comprehensive study material on each content area. And in the back of the books I think there's a few books, there are several practice exams in full length that you would take, written. You can also, for an additional fee, purchase from this resource a computerized version of the exam. So that's one resource. Another one is by ASWB, and it is, students have said they find it very, very helpful. Dawn Apgar, who is actually graduated from our doctoral program here at Fordham years ago, and she has developed a master's exam guide for the master's level exam as well as the clinical exam. So you want to make sure, if you decide to purchase this, that you make sure, again, it's the master's guide. Comprehensive study guide for success. It's very thorough. It covers the content area, a lot of great information on strategies, as well as practice exams in the back of the book. There is no computerized version of this for practice exams. That is, you can order it by phone or by Amazon or directly from Springer, which is the publisher. And students have really reported that it is a wonderful book. Now, I just wanted to give you my contact information. Again, I had said that I am Linda White Ryan, and my role, I have a few different roles. I'm the Assistant Dean at the Westchester campus. I'm also now overseeing licensing for all campuses, which is why you're listening to me right now. And this is my contact information that you can use at any point in time for any questions, concerns, anything that you would like. This is my general contact information. I also have a designated phone line and email that is just for online. And that is, the number is 914-367-3150, or the email is mswlicensing@fordham.edu. So if you want to write that down, I also will go over again my general contact information at the Westchester campus is, the phone is 914-367-3017, and my email is whiteryan@fordham.edu. So for any of you that need to contact me. So I want to thank you for listening. And I know that thinking about licensing can at times be overwhelming. But what I really want to say is you can all do this. You have completed successfully your MSW program here at Fordham when you're ready to take this exam. I would really invite you all to utilize the resources we have available here, and again, to prepare to take this exam. And I wish you well in your career as professional social workers. It's the best profession. Thank you so much.